Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Joyce Scola. Today I'm going to be talking about yoga mats and the different kinds you can get for the different prices and which ones are the best for your practice. As a yogi and a longtime yoga teacher, I have definitely gone through my share of yoga mats, as you can see. So for your at-home and or studio practice, a really popular brand is La Vie Boheme. They do really cool printed yoga mats. It's super dirty. It is now my outdoor mat. My mom got me this quite a few years ago. I want to say almost like 6 or 7 years ago, and I've taken this thing through the ringer, but I really loved this front design when you're like in down dog or plank and you look down and you see that phoenix rising. It was really cool. When I first got this mat, it was like really sticky. It almost felt like it had some sort of coating on it. I think this is probably PVC, I'm not 100% sure, but I found that it wasn't the grippiest, and this mat came in around like $90 or so. So it's beautiful, it's really cool. I loved having it. I was like always one of the most unique mats when entering the yoga room, which was really cool, but I had to kind of retire it to my yoga trapeze outside because again, it was pretty slippery, and so even though I was engaging and gripping, just like and that just really makes it hard on the joints, especially when you're trying to hold something for like a while. So La Vie Boheme, and then we have a cork yoga mat. This one is by Yoloha. I love this mat. As you can see, it's trashed. You can really start to see the cracks in the mat. Not too bad once it's laid out, but when it's lifted up, you can really see where the cork is starting to come off the mat. This one's a really heavy duty, hefty yoga mat, and it's actually reversible, so you can also practice on the other side as well. I love this mat because the second you have any sort of moisture on your hands, or if you're in a hot yoga class and you're sweating, it becomes grippier. So what I used to do, I would grab like a washcloth and some water, and I would just kind of wipe the whole thing down to pre-moisten it in my yoga classes to help me grip. I started to let my husband use this because he sweats a lot, and this is naturally antimicrobial, cork is. So with how much he sweats and everything, I thought it'd be good for him to use, especially because I have so many mats and prefer some over others. This mat is not the most comfortable yoga mat. It is like laying on a hardwood floor, y'all. So I don't recommend this for yin or anything soft or relaxing. Like, this is sweaty vinyasa only. This mat comes in at around $150, and they have all sorts of different really cool designs. So again, when you're walking into the studio, like, you've got one of the coolest mats and you're kind of standing out, which isn't really the point of yoga, but I like having really cool mats and they make it more fun to practice. Now onto my favorite mat of all time. Sacred Yoga Mat is a very small company. They have the most beautiful design right in the middle of the mat. And it's supposed to be like the sacred images of the universe and have all this meaning behind the different symbols on the mat. And then everything is so like kind of geometrically placed at the same time that my knees line up perfectly with certain points. It's really easy, especially since it has this line down the middle, like wide-legged forward fold. I think I'm lined up, but I'm always like kind of off. So it's really nice to be able to see that and know where I'm at in my warriors, things like that. This mat is super duper 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 grippy, sweaty or dry. It too is also reversible and actually has some grip on the other side, unlike what some other mats like to claim. This is my home mat because this is an extra big, extra hefty mat. This mat is the Pro, and it is 6 pounds, and it's $117. So again, I really love this mat. Now we have this Gels yoga mat. They actually sent this to me to review alongside other mats. This one is their large mat. This one's only 2.5 pounds. Generally, it's around $105, $106. I guess right now they're having a sale for $52, so maybe those kinds of things happen often. This has no PVC or anything like that. It's sustainably sourced and it's super grippy on the top. I really like the texture of it a lot, and I like that they kind of hid the logo into the design of the yoga mat. I think I read somewhere that they say it's reversible. It's just kind of these like bubbly points. To me, I found that to be a little bit slippery. I think it's meant to stay on the floor, or maybe if you have like a sweaty yoga practice, maybe it'll grip better when wet. But I really like this mat a lot. This I think is going to become my new aerial mat because it's got like really extra thick squishy feel to it. So if you do like more intense like Pilates where you're on the ground on your tailbone or back, or if you do kind of weighted stuff, I think this is a really great mat, and I like the black. For $100, I think that there are better mats like the Sacred that I'm about to talk about next. For $50, I would totally buy this, like in a heartbeat, get it. And especially if like you do practice more yin or restorative or lower stuff, or like Pilates or workout type things, this is a really great workout mat, sweaty or dry. But again, at $100, I don't know. Maybe not. Because then there is the Sacred mat. I guess it all depends on what you need. I don't need a lot of cushion for my knees or anything like that. Again, for like yin or restorative, I really like this squishy stuff. But for just a hatha or vinyasa, or I can even rock yin somewhat on this if I like lay a blanket down. This is Sacred Yoga's core mat. This one's only 3.9 pounds, so it's half the weight of their pro mat, which is really big, really thick, super comfortable. So it's all the same material, has that same beautiful design right in the middle, which I love looking at. I get compliments everywhere I go about the design, about the color. People say that they want to sit on my mat. And this one's a lot lighter, so this one is much easier to just throw in the car, go to your studio practice, kind of jet around with. This and the Sacred Yoga mat are totally worth their prices. This core mat is $89. I love it. Wet, dry, either side, beautiful design, alignment, thickness, very comfortable, like durable AF. I love these Sacred Yoga mats, my favorite. I just really, really love this company, and they're great. I highly recommend them. They're a small business again too, so it's great to support that. On to Jade Yoga. I love Jade. They are one of my favorites for different reasons though. So this one is my travel mat. As you can see, the edge is very thin, and overall this travel mat is okay, so 3.1 pounds, whereas the core Sacred is like 3.9. So this is a little bit less heavy. So actually knowing that now, I might just opt for that Sacred anyways, because it adds still a little bit more thickness and grip. The Jade Yoga mats, they use all natural rubber from organic rubber trees, and it's sustainably sourced, and they plant a tree every time you purchase a mat. I really love this mat. I would say it has a little bit of a stretch to it because it is so thin, but again, you can use both sides. I don't know why people really advertise that so much. Especially my travel mat is like on the ground. I've practiced behind like an enterprise rental car company in their parking lot. I practice on the lawn next to a Jiffy Lube. Like I practice in some crazy places. So I don't know if I'd want to necessarily practice on the other side of my mat knowing what it's been laying on. But I love the natural rubber fiber feel. Your hands and your feet definitely don't move. Again, this travel mat has a little bit of a stretch just because it's so thin. I had their Harmony mat, which is actually about 5 pounds. And so it's a lot thicker and maybe I think a few inches longer and wider. But I gave that to a friend because she had like a really crummy yoga mat. But I had that thing for like almost a decade, y'all. That was my go-to. Love the Harmony mat. So they're a little bit cheaper than Sacred Yoga. This travel mat from Jade Yoga is about $65. Their Harmony mat, which is really comfortable and a little bit thicker, soft. Same material though, so still really grips. Still a little bit of a stretch in it that I remember. That one comes in at about $79. So at the end of the day, if you have $100 to spend on something like this, and you only want to practice yoga, like just your regular hatha, vinyasa, yin and whatnot, and you practice in studio, I would highly recommend the Sacred Yoga, their core mat. Nice size. I think they offer different lengths depending on what you need, and beautiful, beautiful rich colors. Their Pro mat, like again, nice thickness, very squishy and soft, super grippy and reliable. Okay, so 117, so about at the moment $17 more than something like this, which doesn't feel as like quality as this. This is still really amazing. And again, if you do like that kind of workout stuff, or you really need the thick padding and you're more doing the lower impact stuff, that's funny how like high impact just kind of goes along with the low impact in terms of your mat. But yeah, so it really just depends on if you like a lot of cushioning, if you're not doing crazy fast sweaty vinyasa and worrying about slipping. You know, you really have to kind of decide. And so the cheaper yoga mats, if you pay for like a $15 yoga mat, you're going to get what you pay for. It's going to be really hard for your body to be grippy. It might be made out of processed materials that aren't good for your body or for the environment. Might have some toxins in it. So if you're really serious about yoga and practicing, like practicing asana, really invest in a proper yoga mat. These things will last you decades because the quality is there and they're just great overall mats, and you have a lot of options. So just to recap, my favorite is Sacred Yoga mats. They're definitely not paying me to say that. I just genuinely love their mats, the designs, the colors, the material, everything about it, and their different options that they have. So they have many different options for your price range as well as your needs. If you'd like to check out any of these mats, go ahead and find their links in the description below. And please let me know if there's anything else you guys would like to see in terms of reviews or otherwise. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.